Welcome to this session where we're going to set up the environment for running TinyML on the microcontrollers. A quick review of how to install VSCode in case you don't have installed it. I've already done this before, so we just had to run this tutorial here on how to install VSCode. So it's very easy. You can follow these instructions. You can also go to the official web page of VSCode. So you just download the package and then you run this command and that's it. Alright, so to develop the machine learning algorithms in your computer, you need to install Jupyter Notebooks. That's a very useful extension for VS Code. And what we are going to do is to follow this tutorial here on these instructions. So it's also very easy to do. So let's do it. Also, you can find plenty of tutorials on the web. Sometimes you can find that there's different approaches to install the Jupyter Notebook in VS Code. So the best thing is to go directly to the web page of VS Code, and you can find very easily the instructions to install Jupyter Notebooks extension. So here you can find the very precise instructions for setting up your environment, and it's quite easy. You just have to install the extension as you can follow these instructions here. So let's do it. Alright, so let's start at VS Code and look for the extensions you have installed. In my case, I don't have any extension installed, so I can start by installing the Python extension. And as you can see, down this extension, I got the Jupyter extension also. So let's wait a little bit to find this extension, the Python extension installed. Alright, so you can find here the Jupyter extension. You just click here to install it. And as you can see that this is a pack of more extensions. So you will finally have the complete extensions and programs that you need for running Jupyter Notebooks in VS Code. So let's see if we got already everything installed. So it's ready. Alright, so let's create a folder upon a folder. So let's think where we can create our repository for the Python notebooks for Jupyter. So let's put here Jupyter. And then we can, alright, so let's see here, I trust. Alright, thank you. And just start a new notebook here. So it's very important that you put the file extension, and that's the file extensions for the Jupyter Notebooks. And as you can see, you already have the environment for Jupyter Notebooks. So let's write down a very easy command in Python to see if it runs perfectly. So let's print a hello world, the typical command that everyone uses. So let's select here the environment, the Python version I need to, and so there's something missing, so let's go and install it. And okay, let's wait a little bit. to see if it is ready to run our Python command. All right, so it's done. So let's see. Okay, so I run the Python line, print hello world, and I got my output here, the hello world. So let's think that our notebook is running. All right, so now let's test a real algorithm for machine learning. So let's go to the Tensor Flow examples on the web page. So we can copy all these commands that are already here for the example. And so let's go back to our notebook in VS Code and paste it here. So what we have here is that we don't have the library installed. So let's open the new terminal and let's install the TensorFlow library. So it's very easy. You just write down the install command for TensorFlow. And so let's wait a little bit for the TensorFlow library to be installed. All right, just as I speed up the installation, and so I got here that everything is already done. So I put here the play button, and I can see that now the TensorFlow library is imported, and I have this message. All right, so everything seems okay. So let's go back to our example in the TensorFlow page. Let's copy the next command to load a dataset. Let's put a new line here. Close the terminal. We don't need it anymore. So let's paste this and let's load the data. So that's a very famous dataset. Let's load this dataset and let's go back to our example and let's build that the machine learning model. Just copy these commands here and go back for a new line and let's paste the command here. So I got here the model for using Keras. Let's run it, and so I got the model already. So let's now go to our next line. So let's do a quick test for the predictions. So just for testing the models, so these predictions are not fitted already, so it's just like one step in the tutorial to test it. Alright, so let's copy the next command, and we are not going to explain this time for what is each command doing, but the intention of this tutorial is just to test our environment and see whether there's no errors when using TensorFlow in a Jupyter Notebook in VSCode. So let's just copy and see that we got some expected results. And let's go for the next command too, and let's see that we have the no errors, so everything is working properly right now. So let's go for the next one, and all right, let's copy, make a new line, paste it again, and see that we have some result here with no error. So you will find that there's some differences in the numbers each time you train your models. Sometimes you get different results. So don't panic if you find different results right now. We are just testing that every command runs properly in our Jupyter Notebook. All right, so let's go for the next one. That's the model fit. All right, so let's see if it runs properly, and now we are training the model here, and according to this instructions we gave, the inputs, and so it seems everything is working properly. Meanwhile, we go back and let's do this test of our models. If we already trained the model, so now we have to test. So meanwhile it's training, let's paste here this command here, and let's go back to paste the next command. Meanwhile it's the model is still in training, right? Okay. Right, we get a new line, we paste the next command. So my training has finished, so I can put here to run this line and everything works fine. And finally this line that goes okay. So okay, I copy this new command here. Alright, so I got these results. As I told you before, you will have different numerical results, but the thing is that we just finished the example and everything looks good, everything works fine. Alright, that's the end of this session, so let me know your comments. Please subscribe and give me a like. See you next time.